What's going on, guys? Tom with Verus Engineering, and today we're going to be installing the rear diffuser for your GR Corolla. But before we get into that, a huge shout out to PWR and Just Driven for letting us use this particular GR Corolla for some R&D and the ability to get some amazing products out to you guys as fast as possible. So let's jump right into it. All right, so benefits of installing our rear diffuser on your GR Corolla are reducing drag of the vehicle, increasing downforce, and decreasing your lap times. All right, tools we need to install the diffuser: 10mm socket or wrench. Need a clip removal tool or a flathead screwdriver, it works just fine, a ratchet, and a 4mm socket or Allen key. All right, so as part of the kit, you will be receiving all of these components. We have obviously rear diffuser unit. We're gonna have a hardware kit, 2 side Strakes, 1 for each side. We're gonna have 4 brackets that attach to the car. We have 2 short guys that'll be in the middle, 2 long guys on the outside. And we're gonna have 2 subframe brackets, 1 for each side of the car. Okay, so here is basically 1/2 of the affected area of where we will be working. We're gonna have the subframe bracket in this area here, and we're gonna have those flat or strap style brackets mounting right up here and right here, basically to the metal components on the car. So let's start mounting up these subframe brackets now. All right, so starting with the subframe brackets, we're going to bolt them up to these 2 existing holes in the subframe, right here and here. We're going to use 16mm button head cap screws, 18mm washers, and some M6 serrated flange nuts. Nuts going to be on the back side or the inside of the subframe. All right, so we have this loosely installed. Go ahead and tighten this up. Once you're able to essentially square up this bracket, make sure these slots are straight up and down or perpendicular. These slots here, perpendicular with the ground. And then torque the button head cap screws to 6 foot-pounds. Okay, so as you can see, we have the right side on, and I also went ahead and did the driver's side as well. So this is what they will look like once they're installed. All right, so moving right along, we need to install the strap style brackets or C-shaped brackets, whatever you want to call them, into this hole and this hole, currently occupied by these 2 clips. Use a flathead screwdriver and just pop them out. We want to basically sandwich this plastic portion from the bumper in between the bracket and this metal portion on the car. We're gonna have the short guy in the middle and the long guy on the outside of the car. And if you look, we have a circle side and a slot side. Slot side should be facing down against the diffuser, and the circle side should be pointed up against the car, just like I'm showing here. We're going to use 16mm button head cap screws with 18mm washers and the M6 serrated flange nuts. The button head and the washer should be on this side and the serrated flange nut on the top side. Once you have these lined up, go ahead and torque them down to 6 foot-pounds. They should be oriented just like this so that the 2 ends of the bracket are pointed towards the rear. All right, so we have these C-shaped brackets, flat brackets, strap style brackets installed, slotted down. You can see the orientation here with the flanges pointed towards the rear of the car, and we've got the short guy in the middle, long guy on the outside. Obviously, we need to repeat that for the opposite side. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then when we come back, we'll be ready to set the diffuser up onto the car. All right, we're getting ready to install the rear diffuser panel. Can't help to have a friend here. We're gonna use 16mm button head cap screws with 18mm washers, and we're gonna be putting the bolts from basically from the front of the car to the back of the car in terms of orientation. We want the subframe brackets to be on the outside of the leading edge of the diffuser. So we'll put this thing up here. All right, so off camera, I actually started this one bolt because I needed something to hold the diffuser up. We're going to use, for the 4 bolts, going into the C-shaped brackets that we put into the bumper. We're going to use 25mm button cap screws with 18mm washers and M6 serrated flange nuts. Bolt heads and washers should be on the bottom going up, similar to what is shown here. Basically with the OEM setup, we do not need any spacers, and what I mean by that is this will sit flush up against the brackets with no problems and no interference with the exhaust or the bumper. If you have an aftermarket exhaust, there are spacers and 45mm button head cap screws included in the hardware kit so that you may space the diffuser down to clear your exhaust. So I'm going to go ahead and install those bolts, make sure everything lines up. And then we need to move on to the side strakes, which will be the final step before we level the diffuser. All right, we've got all of the main mounting bolts started. Now we need to bolt up the side strakes. You will see 4 holes along the bent flange on the side of the diffuser. Line them up with your side strake and 16mm button head cap screws, 18mm washers, and M6 serrated flange nuts. Gonna go ahead and bolt them together, torque to 6 foot-pounds. All right, we've got all the bolts started. Before we torque everything down, we want to make sure that our strakes are level and parallel with the ground. So to do that, utilize a level. First, you need to make sure you have enough or ample clearance with your exhaust system, and then basically adjust the diffuser off of that. So here, we don't need any spacers to fit the factory exhaust, so we're just going to simply level this by pushing all the way up on the rear brackets and then pushing up on the front to achieve level. So now that I know where level is, I'm going to go ahead and torque everything down to 6 foot-pounds, and then we'll be done with the install. All right, so to recap, we made sure that we have enough clearance with the exhaust and used the appropriate amount of spacers included in the hardware kit, and used either 25mm or 45mm button head cap screws on those C-shaped brackets in order to make sure that we have enough exhaust clearance. And then once we were done with that, leveled out the splitter and made sure that it was level and parallel with the ground. And once we do all of that, we make sure that all the bolts are torqued to 6 foot-pounds. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. Once you have, that's it for the install. So, as always, guys, it's been a pleasure. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, be sure to email us at sales@verus-engineering.com. And until next time, we'll see you later.